Hello everyone, welcome back. So, I was practicing Arcane last night trying to figure out the new rotation. And I have found, I think, what is correct. I think there'll still be things that will be a surprise still, like in Sims, because it's not just me who's looking into this. I know Purim has been working on the APL. I've just been working on it just by feels and just by looking at the tooltips and trying to do some math. But what I've ended up with is kind of, or at least to me, it seems like it's kind of what this will be. I'm just going to show y'all some of this stuff, but I want to just start by saying, okay, so the change to nether precision should be reverted. I think we all kind of agree on that, or at least most of us. The change didn't necessarily make our damage go down. It was predicted that our damage would actually stay the same or actually go up. The problem with the change isn't that the damage is bad. The problem with the change is that the playstyle is bad. But I've been doing a couple dummy tests, and yeah, the playstyle, it's a lot of arcane blasting. Basically everything we predicted about what this rotation would become if they made this change ended up being true. So the TLDR is this. We now don't really care about barraging. Barraging is something we only do if it's free. All right, and all we care about is using Arcane Blast with Nether Precision and trying to use Burden of Power with Arcane Blast and Arcane Barrage. Because that one actually does still queue. This one actually still queues, by the way. So like what you want to do basically is you want to barrage from this burden. And this is going to make your barrage do 30% more damage. So if you can always have a clear cast for this, it may not actually matter, but to me it seems like it should probably matter. If you always have a nether precision for this, then the blast and the barrage are both going to get nether precision. The blast and the barrage will both also get 30% damage. And the barrage will automatically return 4 charges. So you stay at 4 charges, and you get a lot more damage on the blast and the barrage. Now, the barrage itself having the damage may not actually be important here. Because we may just be in a situation where this only matters in execute. I'll be honest with y'all, if the target dummy is above 30%, so if I'm not in execute range for Arcane Bombardment, 35%, I don't even know if the barrage here matters. But the reason why we're using barrage with burden is so that we can proc glorious incandescence and stay at 4 charges, while also getting mana back from arcane barrage and maintaining arcane tempo. So if you play this correctly, you never drop your tempo, and you have a lot of mana, and you mainly deal damage with arcane blast by using nether precision and by making use of arcane debilitation. But the enemy of this build, or like this playstyle, the biggest enemy, is not having 4 charges. Basically, you always want to be at 4 charges. You never want to not have 4 charges. You want to avoid any situation where you're not at 4 charges, like the plague. That is the worst thing that could happen, is you end up with 0 charges, and you don't have a way to instantly be back to 4 charges. That will absolutely murder your damage. So the talents aren't necessarily locked in. I'm honestly not even sold on these talents much at all. I was trying to adapt this playstyle to the sim. I did my best. And I was able to sim Aether Attunement versus Lacite, and it ended up being like within 1% to go like Aether Attunement versus Lacite in single target. So like I think this will probably be an Aether Attunement angle, but I'm not necessarily sold on that. Also, I'm not sold on Prodigious Savant. I do have a lot of mastery though, so I feel like it should be valuable. But yeah, just to give you an idea of the stats I'm running. So I sussed out the amount of haste I needed in order to maintain my arcane tempo. Right now I have the Alchemical Chaos on, so it's going to be flipping through my buffs. You'll see it flip through like that. But for me, it was like somewhere around like 15 to 17% haste, I felt like was like the bottom, so I could maintain tempo. And then the rest of it, so it's like mastery all the way. The reason why it's mastery all the way is because you need mana. like mastery is required to be able to maintain this damage because you're always in 4 charges. So you have to have enough mana regeneration so that you like don't end up being out of mana. Because if you're out of mana, then you would have to barrage even though you don't want to, and that would be really bad. So I already have a fire video about Frostfire from a couple iterations ago, but the playstyle remains the same. Right now, fire is just not tuned well at all. The damage is actually quite good on Flame Strike if you just ignore the overall tuning. Like if you compare fire single target versus AoE versus Living Bomb versus Flame Strike versus, you know, Frostfire versus Sun Fury versus all that shit. There's a lot of really good options for fire. But Living Bomb's kind of bad. But the issue is all of them just don't do damage. So like if fire gets like an aura buff, just like across the board buffs to everything, like we'll be in good shape. Fire's just like one aura change or like one buff away from being good. The issue is it is nowhere near Frost, and it is especially nowhere near Arcane. Because if you were to put these in terms of their power, which again it's beta, so it's like who gives a fuck, but number 1 is Arcane. Okay, it like if I had to guess how much damage these specs are doing in single target, invest in slot, based on the sims, I would say 1.4 million Arcane. This is probably where we're at in single target. Actually, hold on, let me do this. Yeah, so like if I were to say like what the single target damage is right now for all of them, based on the sims, it'd be like 1.4 million would be Arcane. And then below that would be like, let's say like 1.2 million Frost. And then Fire is probably like 1 million. So like, there's just not a case right now, I feel like, where I would go Fire just because the damage just isn't there. The playstyle's there. I like the playstyle, and I don't focus on the damage too much, but I'm just saying, like, I've already kind of figured out what to do as Fire, I think, for the most part. I don't really know if there's, like, much else to cook. And I just am waiting for them to, like, give it some tuning so that we can, you know, enjoy that in single target again. Which Fire? Frostfire and Sun Fury both seem like they're pretty close in single target, but I do think Sun Fury needs a little love because I think, or Frostfire, sorry, I think in single target Frostfire needs a little love, but I don't know, it's like it's hard to say because they keep just like whipping Living Bomb tuning around, and that I think that kind of fucked it over for Frost Fury. Like that was, or Frostfire, that was like the big thing, was like the Living Bomb damage. So like Frostfire's fate is kind of decided by Living Bomb. And like Sun Fury doesn't have that problem, and also Sun Fury is probably like easier to play, so I would probably say like Sun Fury preferred for Fire right now. But the thing about Sun Fury is it's very important to understand where you're at for the spheres. What about the rotation for Spellslinger? Okay, so the rotation for Spellslinger is cursed as fuck. Like it does damage, but the Spellslinger rotation is actually like unbelievably cursed because you don't have a Glorious Incandescence. So like that's what's keeping this afloat, is the fact that you can get your mana back with Glorious Incandescence, and you can like use barrages still every once in a while with Glorious Incandescence. You take that away, you take the queuing away from Breeding of Power on your barrage, and it's like you're down bad. It's not good. But anyways, this is what I'm doing. So typically what I do is like on the pull, I'm still going to pre-evocate like I do before, but you're going to see me do something a little bit different entering Surge. Okay. So like, let's say we're starting up the pull here. By the way, I'm playing this talent, Rondermacy. So Ignite the Future, as far as I can tell, doesn't actually do anything right now. I cannot tell if this talent actually does anything at all. So I've just been playing this one because I can't seem to get this one to do anything. But okay, so let me just explain the core concept here. So whenever you cast Arcane Blast or Barrage, it increments by 1. Whenever you hit 5, that means the next one's going to bring you to Burden of Power. 6 doesn't actually happen. It's just going from 5 and then pressing Blast or Brush will activate Burden of Power. So what we're caring about is counting the 6 over and over and over again. And we don't have to worry about our arcane charges because we're always getting those back with Glorious Incandescence, right? Or our intuition procs. But we do need to care about when we brush, because if I'm on my way to 6, right? And I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have intuition proc and I blast into barrage, that's going to be 5, 6 at the same time, right? Because barrage also increments this. So anytime you get intuition proc and you cue it with a blast, you need to be aware that you're getting 2 instead of 1. So it's kind of weird because you're trying to catch the 6, right? So that you can have your nether precision out for it. And then you're always queuing that into a barrage at 6. So like I don't know. I think in execute it's probably worth to queue the barrage with nether precision. So like have a 2 stack at 6. I think outside of execute it's probably better to have the 2 stack at 5. Because then you could do missiles and then blast barrage. And then the barrage wouldn't have the nether precision, but the 2 blasts would. So I think you change what you do depending on if you're in execute or not. At execute, I would do at 6. Without execute, I would do at 5. And if I have intuition proc, that kind of changes things. So like if I have intuition proc and burden of power, then I would do at 6 anyways. Whereas if I don't have intuition proc, I'm missing that damage, so I'd probably do at 5 instead. But I don't, honestly, I don't know if that's even like worth it. It's just, it's hard to tell just from hitting the dummy, but anecdotally it feels good. High voltage isn't worth anything. I mean, you can pick this talent because like you can, Prodigious Savant is just like a bad talent, so you can just remove one here and it doesn't matter. But like you're not really getting anything out of this talent. Because like this talent makes the assumption that like you don't have another way to instantly fill your charges. Right? So like the only reason you would go high voltage is if you ever planned a barrage in a case where you don't immediately refund your charges. And like that just goes against like the playstyle here, because you shouldn't ever be barraging where you lose all your charges, because that would just be terrible for your damage, right? Like you wouldn't do that in the first place. So like you technically could play high voltage. I think in AoE it might be pretty good. But that's a situation where you're mainly barraging as opposed to blasting. I think with this playstyle, I don't think high voltage has a place here. I don't think it fits. The only thing that I think will move around here is I could see Aether Attunement going over to Lacite like this. I think this will be good for raid. But I think over here is better for raid, probably. Do you think the old build would still be optimal for Mythic Plus? Yeah, you would just do shit damage in bosses. Which spec is going to be the best for pushing Mythic Delves? Dude, what? How immobile is the playstyle? Very immobile. Very immobile. You're kind of like glued to the ground. I'll just demonstrate here. Okay, so we're going to evocate, and then we'll lust here, and I'm just gonna build here. Actually, munched another precision there, but it's fine. I'm just gonna farm up a clear cast here. Wait. So this is a bug I want to show y'all. So I've noticed this bug. So if you do, okay, so let me show it again. It's kind of hard to get this exact condition. I just wanted to immediately stop so I could point out this bug. I've reported this already. So like if you get to 5 here, okay, so look. I have burden of power, right? So if I consume burden of power here, what's going to happen is I'm going to get glorious incandescence, right? So now I have GI, all right? So watch, I'm going to get burden again. Right here, okay, now I have burden and glorious incandescence. Watch, if I barrage. Wait, it didn't do it that time. What the fuck? So this thing happens sometimes where you will barrage with both buffs up, and it won't give you your charges back. Well, let me see if I can get to happen naturally again. How did I do that? It only happens sometimes. That's why I wanted to immediately stop and point it out. But, okay, well, I guess we'll just go again and see if it happens. So, yeah, before the poll, evocate. Obviously, you wouldn't have charges here, so, like, you'd orb and then, you know, just start spamming blast. And then here, so I have the proc ready. So what I can do is I can nether precision into my Touch of the Magi here, or not. Probably doesn't matter. And then I'm just trying to have nether precision up for this. Right, so I'm trying not to cap on nether precision, but while also keeping one for this moment right here. This moment. So this is blasting the barrage. Okay, so right there, what happens is I have nether precision up. I have burden power up on the on my buffs here. So I have burden power up. I have nether precision up, and in that case, I also had intuition, which was like icing on the cake. And then I, with 2 stacks of nether precision, I queue a blast into barrage. Both charges gain burden power because it queues it. Both charges get nether precision because it consumes both. And the barrage instantly refunds 4 charges, regardless of Glorious Incandescence, because I had the intuition proc. But even if I didn't have the intuition proc, I would have Glorious Incandescence instead, and it would give 4 charges back anyways. Is POM an advantage? Well, the problem with POM is you need to cancel it, and they apparently fixed Big Brained, and we need mana, so I just don't know if we have, like, a slot for it. Oh, also, I should be going this talent for a single target, for sure. This is actually a really big deal, having this talent. Intuition is my 4-piece. It says Slipstream. Kitty? Kitty? Hey. Don't fucking say shit like that, all right? That's really fucked up. Yeah, let's just... My character's already glued to the ground, dude. If I get rid of Slipstream, I am so fucked. I am unbelievably fucked if I do that. No fucking shot. Maybe on the target dummy, but no way in like a real setting. This spec is already going to struggle so much with movement, dude. If you took away Slipstream, oh my god. You're actually just cooked. But yeah, just farm it up. I think actually 5 might be the right angle for this. I'm not even going to another precision here. But I am going to do a missile here into Blast Barrage. And now I'm just going to use all my clear cast. Oh, I hate when that happens. So what happened there is my Arcane Soul ran out like right as I was queuing the barrage. That shit's so annoying. Yeah, but anyways, that's the idea. Queue the barrage from the blast. I definitely need to get rid of barrage in my macro, I think. I think we're just gonna go Touch of the Magi Natty. Like no barrage into it. Because I don't want the weak ass barrage in my touch to be the one that hits first. So I think what I'm gonna do is instead of doing touch with a macro, I think I'm just gonna do it fucking manually. And then that way I don't have to barrage into touch. And I can make my first barrage big with burden. Yeah, we're raw dogging the touch. So you don't want to spend CC until you're about to barrage? So not necessarily. And then by the way, I don't even know if this is right. I'm just going off feels here, but I feel like there should be a incentive to have nether precision for burden of power. Like I feel like that's something that like should be important, at least for the the blast of burden of power. Maybe not the barrage. Unless I have intuition proc or the targets and execute. But I also care about arcane debilitation, so I want to use my clear cast leading up to that as well. So like I'm gonna be pretty aggressively spending my clear cast but I'm not trying to spin my last one if I'm approaching 6. But again, I don't know if this is right. It seems like it should be important, but I don't know if it actually is important. But like having the arcane debilitation on the target, like as you're going into it's like pretty good, right? Because if you, like, let's say you spin your clear cast going up to it, it's 6 seconds, right? So like any clear cast you spend 6 seconds leading up to that brunette power is going to give you more damage on it anyways. The only thing is it's, you know, honestly, it probably just depends on lay sight. Like if you go lay sight versus if you don't go lay sight. Because it's only 20% more damage, right? And Arcane Debilitation, you know, can stack like just as higher, if not higher. Yeah, the robot would have to tell you the answer to that one. Oh, thank you. What makes the playstyle bad now? Imagine you mainly just cast Arcane Blast. Imagine your feet are glued to the ground. Imagine you have to react to procs like instantly. Yeah, and then you're basically sitting at 4 charges the whole time, so your mana is like constantly a concern, but you're also fucking glued to the ground arcane blasting. It's basically like the old version of Arcane, but just with some like slight changes. But it's just like, I would actually say it's like a watered down version of probably like BFA Arcane. Yeah, Skill Commander is going to use Disintegrate though in AoE with its mass Disintegrate buff, but otherwise Pyre. Yeah, it's not great. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, Evocate into Orb, and then I'm just gonna farm 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? See, the damage is quite good, but damage isn't everything. The playstyle is suffering for the damage. I'm gonna stop there. It's just like all barrage. Oops, all blast. Oops, all blast. Oops, all arcane blast. It feels so bad to just be spamming cast. Bless you. Your cast builder the whole time. That just feels stupid. Hey guys. Oh yeah, hold on, let me link it. Sorry Kitty, you got zapped by the bot. You deserve it though for talking about Slipstream like that earlier. Okay, so basically imagine, right? You make this awesome build where it's actually builder spender and there's actually like incentive to spend and people are fucking loving the build and it's a fresh take on Arcane that we've never seen before and it's just overwhelmingly positive feedback. It's obviously too strong. You nerf it a couple times, but like people are still really happy with it and people are even saying like, you know, this is overtuned, you can nerf it, but just please don't change the playstyle, whatever you do. Just please don't change the playstyle. And then you wake up one morning And you decide, you know what? Fuck those mages. Yeah, fuck those mages. They like their playstyle. How about this? We're gonna curse you. All right? It's like the monkey's paw thing, right? We're gonna curse you with a build that does even more damage, but is infinitely worse to play. So, you know, you can't complain because you have more damage now. But you lose your playstyle. So it's no longer fun, but you gain damage. And it's already overtuned. So like, what the fuck are they doing? They're taking a spec that's overtuned, they're making it stronger, while simultaneously deleting the playstyle that was fun. It's like, what the fuck? So you're just making this like even better, so like we can't look away. But then you're also making it dog shit to play, so we're gonna all be really sad that we have to play it if we care about our damage. It's just like, what? That's crazy. Like, everyone was just asking, please don't play, please nerf this, but also please don't change the gameplay. Please, whatever you do, do not change the gameplay. It is so fun. We understand we need a nerf. It's fine. And Blizzard's like, how about I buff you and also change the playstyle? How about that? Sound good? Yeah, so this is the feedback thread. And, you know, if we go back, so by the way, the thread, I think before the change, you know what's funny is like, look at the date here, okay? So right here is when the change came in. 5/14, look, okay? So look at the date on this. July 5th, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 26, 27, 28, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, and then right here, look what happens. July 30th. July 30th. July 30th. July 31st. July 31st. August 1st. August 1st. August 2nd. All of this happened right after the change. Right here. 300 new posts. They made this post right here, and it was like a disaster afterwards. Right here. This is moments before disaster. Oh, this is well, no. This is US. Yeah. I actually haven't looked at the EU thread. I've just been looking at the NA thread. Can I link the thread, please? Yeah, I'll do it again. But yeah, this is so so this post right here is where everything went downhill, yeah? They posted this. And then 300 posts later, here we are. Dude, what are people... People are coming across kind of unhinged in here, but it's actually funny. I'm here for it. Revert nether precision. Revert nether precision. Revert nether precision. Even if you don't revert nether precision, you need to do something to incentivize the use of barrage more often. Yes. Blood alone moves the wheel of history. Have you asked yourselves in an hour of reflection, which all true mages find during their studies, how long we've been striving for greatness, not just for the years... Is this AI written? Not just for the years we've honored our skills in battle, but from the moment we first fell Arcane's pull. It's been a lifetime struggle, a relentless quest for perfection. I tell you now, and you will understand, it is a privilege to wield the Arcane. We are mages. Fellow mages of Azeroth, I ask you once more. Rise and stand firm in the face of this change. Dude, he's like leading the battle here. I feel like I'm being inspired by like a general right now. The recent alteration of nether precision, the fixing of the issue that allowed the last stack to be double dipped by spell queuing might seem like a minor adjustment, but make no mistake, it undermines our very essence. It strips us of the finesse and precision we have fought so hard to protect, or perfect. Rise up, wizards. Oh yeah. See, why is this proccing? It just happened there. Did you see that? Your next Arcane Barrage calls down a storm of 4 meteorites on its target. You see how I used it and it didn't give me 4 charges? Did you just see that? That's the bug I'm talking about. It happened again. There's something weird about having... There's something weird about getting this proc here. Hold on. Did I... Maybe it's because I didn't queue into the barrage. So the proc of barrage would get 30%, but it wouldn't return. But I had both there, didn't I? Hold on. Let me look at the VOD. I'm trying to figure out what causes this or if I'm just like hallucinating it. Okay, so right here. Let's go to where 10 minutes was. Okay, so here. Oh. God damn it. Okay, so right in this moment. Right here, look. I have... So right here, I have Glorious Incandescence. And I have Burden of Power. See the 2 buffs? Okay. So what should happen here is if I barrage, what's happening is the burden is being consumed and it's giving me a new one. At the same time, I'm trying to consume this one, but this one is being basically overridden, so I'm not getting it. So I'm not getting this. I'm not getting the 4 charge. So look, look, look. So look, I barrage here, and look, see, nothing happens. No charges because it disappeared for a second right as it refreshed. And now it's refreshed. See, it's at 11 seconds now. It was at 7 seconds here, or sorry, 8 seconds. So right here with this barrage, it did not consume it. It consumed the burden, which then made it disappear for like a millisecond right as I needed it. And now it's back. So in this situation, your incandescence is fake. So there's a bug where you could get both that is still in the game. So they made it whenever you have both, you lose incandescence. Okay. Yeah, see, I noticed this happening earlier, and I was trying to figure out exactly what caused this. And it always seemed to be if I ended up in the situation where basically if I have incandescence, or we'll go back. It's like right here, right? So this is the awkward situation you never want to be in. Because what happened here is so I have 5, right? And I do an Arcane Blast into Barrage. Now, this is something you can never do. But we're trying to figure out how to make this happen again. So if you're at 5, 6 triggers it, right? But if you Barrage from this, guess what? Now you're at 7, right? Because it's 5, 6, 7. So basically, you're not allowed to barrage here ever. Unless it's just a barrage on its own. If you blast into barrage at 5, you are so fucked. Right here. You blast into barrage, this happens, and this is just doomed. You're actually doomed if this happens. This to me seems like a oversight. I feel like this situation is just like they're talking about making things intuitive for players, right? That's the whole implied reason for this change. Yeah. What the fuck about this? I feel like this is way worse. If you don't know about this thing and you ever make this mistake, your damage is going to take a big hit. You have to have burden. Oh, I forgot to change my touch macro. Oops. Hold on, let me put that on the old keybind it was. I used to have the touch macro on 4, or touch macro on 6, and then touch on 4. But now, I'm not using the macro anymore, so it's weird to get used to. By the way, Porm, since you're here, I think if the target's in execute, the like nether precision before the burden is like really juicy if you get like it on the barrage and the blast. But I think without execute range, I prefer to actually missile at 5 and then have NP for AB hitting 6 and then AP for the burden, but no NP on barrage. I don't know if that matters. It feels to me to make it seems like it does more damage if I am outside of execute to have it just always be on the blasts, but I think in execute on the barrage it kind of feels good. Bubo Stabbins. Also, if I get intuition procs as I'm going, like and I have like a bunch of clear casts, I usually just send and fucking slam a blast into a barrage. Thank you, Bubo Stabbins, for the Twitch Prime. Appreciate you. I want to wait for Lust here. I want to try again. It's weird though. Okay, so these are the talents I'm running right now. I think this talent and this talent are actually very close. I'm not sure if they change how you'd play, but I don't think there's a world where you would pick high voltage unless you just didn't give a fuck. Maybe an AoE. Same with Barrage. I think an AoE would be good. I feel like these traits though are all kind of like low value. Like the 2 in the Prodigious Savant and then this one I feel like are just kind of like whatever. You can just do whatever. On the target dummy this isn't going to be relevant, but... So I did look into that already. As a DPS gain to always CC below 5 stacks when you have burden. Okay. Always a DPS gain to CC below 5 stacks. Got it. Yeah. That way it doesn't hit the burden. Cool. Wait, always though? Like even in execute? No, don't want to do that. That was outside execute right there. Yeah. Wonder if Magi Spark 2 factors in here. It's just funny seeing this breakdown. No, you always use CC below 5? Or when you have burden. Okay. So always be MP blast, barrage, double dipping, burden. Okay. Oh, so you're always trying to hit barrage then. So at 5, you never missile then, is what you're saying. You'd only missile at 4, or sorry. You'd missile at 4, you'd missile at 6, which is 0, I guess, technically, because you're burden, but never at 5. Just to clarify, if the 4 set wasn't based on Arcane Barrage, would you ever press it besides Magni? I mean, you didn't even press it with Magni with us, to be honest with you. Yeah, you would. Glorious Incandescence. Let me put it this way. You can't just cast Arcane Blast the whole time. Okay? As much as this build would like to do that, you can't do it. Because there is mana to... You know, that is a part of it, right? Like, you have to have mana. If you just press Blast, you will run out of mana. So there has to be, like, some sort of balance between being able to blast as much as you want to, while also fitting in the free Arcane Barrages that you get. By the way, they are only good because of the queuing here. Which is, you know, it's kind of ironic, isn't it? Like, the only reason why this works is because of queuing Blast into Barrage. Weird. Huh, isn't there another ability that Blizzard, like, made a stance about how that's not good? You know, I kind of remember, like, some other spell that they recently changed because they said that it was a bug that you could queue it into Barrage. But it's, like, it's kind of weird because, you know, the whole reason why this playstyle works is, like, we're us doing the exact same thing with this. I don't know. It's kind of weird, don't you think? Honestly, take this away, dude. I get it's overpowered and it does, like, too much damage. It's definitely overtuned, but, like, this shit sucks. Honestly, just gut it, man. Make Arcane so bad that we don't play it at this point. Just fucking... Or nerf it by, like, 50% or something. Like, I don't want to play this. Isn't it already bad? No, Arcane's the best. What do you mean? This shit is fucking popping off. Look at my damage. I don't care about the damage. If the playstyle is dog shit. YouTube comments? I'm sure they'll release a statement. Oh, really? Did you say you weren't using the touch macro anymore? Yeah, I'm not. I don't care about damage, something only someone who isn't playing would say. Isn't pugging would say. Oh. Yeah, see, you mistake me for someone who, You mistake me for someone who isn't on the beta right now. Talking about a theoretical version of a class after a change they just made. Yeah, because the only reason I have the luxury of saying I don't care about the damage right now is because this is on the beta. I don't know if you know that, but this hasn't come out yet. So actually, it doesn't matter what your damage is because you're just testing stuff. But I agree with that sentiment on live. Like, it definitely matters. You know, I would care about my performance, but again, we're testing on beta, so that's not really a good conversation to be having, right? Or else all that matters is your damage on beta, and then I mean, that's a whole can of worms. What you try to do on beta is you try to get a feeling for the class because you want to understand what the rotation is like and what sort of talents you have access to and like how the playstyle affects different talent choices. you shouldn't really focus on the damage too much because beta is like half-baked as fuck, right? So if you just razor focus on the damage in beta, you're kind of like missing the point. I just realized I got one there. Gotta react fast to those. Kind of hard to play this, honestly. Just because the reaction speed aspect. There's like very fast reactions required for the intuition proc. I definitely recommend you have a sound set to that because otherwise it's going to be really hard to react in time. Still just getting used to it though. I think with practice it'll probably be okay. Alright, yeah, that's bad. You don't want to do that. Because then you have to waste intuition. I let my tempo fall off for the first time in a while. I'm not shifting power on purpose right now. I'm just trying to, like, try out different combinations here to see how it feels. So I think for intuition, I send like this. And then I'd send one blast because I'm at 5, and then I would missile, and then I would blast barrage here. And then I would missile here since I have it up, and then do just blast. And then I would get the 6 again. Oh, see, if you get the clear cast here, you also have to react. Yo, 2B tack. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Holy. Appreciate you. Where's the best point to use shifting power? As Frost during the poll. Pretty much after you use your 2 Winter's Chill, Fingers of Frost, Ice Lances after your Frozen Orb in your cooldown. So it'd be like Icy Veins, it'd be like Frostbolt into Flurry, Icy Veins, Comet Storm, Frozen Orb, Ice Lance, Shifting Power. Assuming that your Frozen Orb didn't reset through Spellfrost Teachings. What classes are the best design going into the War Within? I think I would have said Arcane before this change. I don't think that's true anymore. It's crazy. They had such a good design and they just like blew it. I think Sun Fury's like pretty well designed. It just feels bad to play because it just doesn't seem to perform as well as the other specs. But all it needs is a little tuning. So I think that one actually is a pretty good one, right? Because again, don't care about damage. So like, if you play it, you'll probably be like, this shit sucks. If you know, unless you like hide your meters or whatever. But I think like it's pretty solid, actually. It's just like one tuning pass away from being actually really good. The reality is though, we have like 3 weeks until launch. Yeah, clock's ticking. I don't think anyone is saying they don't, or they want crap damage. They're saying they want good gameplay and damage tuning to be separate things. Yes. Yeah. Oh, also, I think there's some other specs that are like really fun right now that I've heard like really good things about, like Blood Decay. I've heard really good things about Blood Decay in terms of just like the playstyle. They'll either revert it or make it into the effect it can't go live like this. I mean, they could. BFA happened. The new rotation and talents? Okay. If you're pressing Glacial Spike with Flurries and Icy Touch, or you mean Fingers of Frost, right? Yeah, you probably just don't know better, but I mean, like, no one's going to be playing perfectly day one unless they spend a lot of time researching, right? So if you're a good player, like, you just don't know the rules yet, you're probably going to make mistakes. The general rule is, like, you just don't really Glacial Spike in Icy Veins right now because Winter's Chill is, like, it's infinite, right? You have Winter's Chill every time you Splinter Storm. You Splinter Storm at 8 stacks of your Splinters. And each Winter's Chill gives you 2 Splinters. And you get 2 Winter's Chill per Flurry. So that's, you know, 2, 4. And now you're just off by 2. And every Frozen Orb also gives you 8. And if you have the Weak Aura, the little snowflake, you can see when your Winter's Chill's coming out. So then you can actually Frostbolt into Ice Lance and get 2 more. So actually, if you do that, you get into a rotation where you're pretty much just Ice Lancing. And then if you need the fill, you know, and you have like no Fingers of Frost and you have no Winter's Chill, then yeah, you could Glacial Spike. But like, you don't really need to. You're kind of too busy like pressing Frozen Orbs anyways and Ice Lances. So it's like, it's kind of hard to like fit the Glacial Spike in there unless you force it, which isn't worth it in Icy Veins. But I don't know what he actually did. Sometimes people come in the chat and say people did things that they didn't actually do. So, you know, could have been a misunderstanding, but I'll just tell you how the... so regardless of how someone else is playing, I'll just tell you the correct way to play, which is during Icy Veins, you use Glacial Spike as like a last resort. It's basically the line like right above Frostbolt in like the priority list. It's like at the very bottom. Yeah. Can I explain the new Arcane? Well, I don't really know. Okay, I'll give you the cliff notes. So use Clear Cast to get Nether Precision, right? Use Nether Precision on Blast. Unless Birdamp powers up, then you would use it on Blast Barrage. Those two. And every time you have Birdamp power, you're doing a Blast into a Barrage. You're queuing it. Ideally with Nether Precision up for 2 stacks so that you get it on both. And the Barrage is going to return 4 charges. And the only way this works is if you have enough Mastery. Because you're going to be basically fiending for mana unless you get like lucky TA procs. So like here I'll just show it. I'm not sure exactly how to start it yet, but I think I probably do a natty touch at once Burden procs. Okay, let's try that. So let's do pre-evocate, or I'll mirror image before the pull too. Okay, so I'm gonna pre-evocate. And then I'm gonna orb here. I'll just pop lust, and I'm gonna prep my burnout power here. I will use intuition procs if I get them like that. Okay, and now we have surge, and I'm gonna use touch here, and I'm gonna do a missile into a blast barrage, missile into blast because I have 2 there, missile into blast here, missile into blast barrage because I have burnout power, missile into blast here, and I'm just gonna keep blasting, missile into blast barrage here. That's, I have Arcane Soul, so I'm going to send those 2. I'm just going to try to end this with Clear Casting. Okay, we did it. Now we have Burden up, so we're going to Blast Barrage here. Missiles for another position into Blast. Missiles into Blast. Missiles into Blast Barrage for Burden power. And you would typically use your Shifting Power at some point here. It's really hard to fucking talk while I do this, by the way. But, I mean, that's kind of the idea. It's like you're kind of like paying attention to when your Burden procs. And, you're trying to line it up so that you always hit 6 and you clear. So like 6 AM Blast Barrage, right? So Burden, AM Blast Barrage, or no Nether Precision, just, you know, Clear Cast, Blast, unless you're at 5. If you're at 5, it's banned because the next one is 6. So like if you were to Blast Barrage at 5, it would fuck up everything. You can't do that. That's like, it's insanely banned. You're not allowed to do that. But you're mainly, I mean, like, at the base of it, you're just using Blast with Nether Precision. And the only thing to really think about, other than, like, mana management, is just you Blast Barrage with Nether Precision at Burden Power. That's the easy way. I think that's probably the easiest way to summarize it, is, like, farm stacks beforehand. Try to have Clear Cast up the entire time you're in your cooldowns. Try to sync your cooldowns, obviously. That's still true. Always have Nether Precision for Blast if you can, unless you're at 5 stacks, and then that's banned. Always try to have a Clear Cast going into a Burden Power, so like proc Burden Power, Clear Cast, Blast Barrage. Use Intuition procs as you get them. And just pressure cooldowns on cooldown. I think that's like the easiest way to simplify it. Oh, and make sure that your feet are like firmly glued to the ground. You're not allowed to move. It's still doing broken damage. So I don't know if this is right, but I'm doing everything as mastery. I have to talk a little softer. My wife's about to start a meeting. I dropped all my verse. Okay. Every piece of gear has mastery on it. And then I split the haste and the crit. I only just tried to get as much haste where I wouldn't drop tempo. But I could probably drop more haste, actually. We just need our rotation into burden to take less than 12 seconds. As long as we can reach burden in less than 12 seconds every time, we should be fine. That was bad. My tempo is about to fall. So maybe I am at just the right amount of haste. The fuck? Oh, that was lost proc. The bird casting flame strike still? Yeah. Pretty sure he is. Only sometimes though. I'm gonna be real with y'all, the bird's kind of dumb. With peace and love, he's kind of a dumbass. Reduce. This must be the reduced requirement for buff tracking we were talking about. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Still puzzles me how Blizzard creates something really fun and then decides, oh no, our players are gonna have fun, and so they break it last minute. Yep, that's right. What are the chances they revert it? Who the fuck knows? Okay, we're clear to talk again. Yeah, I mean, like, we don't know. There's no way to know what they're thinking. But I will say this. If you look at the feedback forum, again, I'm just going to showcase this because it is truly marvelous to look at, okay? Look at, okay, so right here, this is where the post was made, where the change was made, right? Since this post, this whole thing is ballooned by 300 posts, right? This was only 3 days ago. So in the span of 3 days, 300 posts have been added here. But if you go back 3 days again, right? So like if we go from where this change was made back 3 days, it's like 5 posts. So like before that, you know, we on average, let's say, you know, we were getting like maybe like 20 posts a day at most. Right? Like look at the time frame. Right? Days are just flying by, and then as soon as you hit right here, boom. And rightfully so. But yeah, the forums are blowing up. People are giving their feedback. Hopefully this version of Arcane never sees the light of day. That's my hope. Most discussions were around one kind of stubborn user. Not really. There were maybe like 5 or 6 posts out of 300 that were that user, and then there were maybe like 10 posts responding. So most is definitely not the right word to use there. They'll revert the change and not make it worse with a new idea of fixing it. Yes, I believe. Yeah, I was telling people, like, don't take the bait, dude.
Wow.
If you've been around as long as I have on the internet, you remember the old days when forums were like the thing you used, you know, before Discord and streaming and all that shit. Everyone just communicated on forums. Then you can recognize a forum troll instantly. And I think that is a lost art. People don't have the ability to instantly flag or to, what's the word again? To clock. People have lost the ability to clock a forum troll instantly. And honestly, it's a damn shame. If I had the ability to be a great internet troll, I do not know if I could resist the urge to use my skill set early and often. What binds usually set up on your mouse? So my mouse has... I've got like one of those Logitech G600 mouse. They don't make these anymore, by the way. They're discontinued, but it is a great mouse. I like it because it's got 3 clicks on the top. So one for your index finger, one for your middle finger, and then one for your ring finger. And the ring finger one is great because you can use that for like push to talk. You can hold it down. So that's how I use it. And then on the side, you know, since it's an MMO mouse, it does have, you know, the MMO mouse buttons or whatever. I have it repeating my number 1 through 6 on the top. So those are all the same as my 1 through 6. Which I don't really use on the mouse much, to be honest with you, unless I need to press 2 buttons at the same time. For instance, Touch of the Magi on 4 or 6, depending on if I'm using macro or not. 5 is Arcane Orb. Sometimes I'll keep my finger on 5 in Mythic Plus, so I can be quicker to react if I don't get an Orb Barrage proc. But the bottom row of buttons, those bottom 6, they're all utility shit. So it's like focus macros, pinging, auto run. It's all weird utility shit that like you wouldn't press typically. But yeah, assigning focus, focus kick, pinging, dropping a mark. One of them would shift as auto run, but I don't really press that one too often. I like the buttons being there, but I don't really use them a whole lot. I only use them whenever I need to queue like 2 spells at the same time because there's like a reason to. So like for instance, if I'm doing Touch of the Magi manually, I'll do it because I need to like press a barrage and a Touch of the Magi at like the same time in melee or whatever. Oh, you bought one? Nice. Arcane Blast on mouse wheel up. You sometimes stare right into the camera as if you're picking... I'm picking my nose. That's because the Twitch chat is up on the camera. So that's... If I'm responding to chat, I'm reading the message on that camera right now. That's why I'm looking at you. It's a neat little item you can get from Elgato. So it helps, right? Because if I'm reading chat, you know where my eyes are because I'm looking at you. Otherwise, I'm just rambling to myself or looking away. So, yeah, I do see you. I literally see the chat messages. And I'm looking at the chat messages right now. Ah, fuck. I hate when that happens, when you accidentally queue 2 missiles in a row. This thing is fucking blasting though, I'll tell you that. Lots of damage on this thing. Arlo did a G-Pie. Arlo did a Surge. 2 Surges. Yeah, so this is 1 exceptional spell, 2, 3. That... See, there's something wrong with Arlo right now. Arlo is not properly doing his exceptional spells. Show cat? Wait, where's the cat? My cat's probably asleep right now. Hold on, let me see if I can find her. Bad news, chat. The cat is peacefully sleeping in the bedroom, and I'm not going to disturb her. She is too cute right now. Yo, Porum, I like this tech, though, where it's like, because of getting Magi Spark, like basically queuing up the burden for the nether precision, and for it to double with Magi Spark. But if you get the intuition proc on it, oh, that first one fucking goes crazy. Now if only we could get the crit to be consistent, because it feels really fucking bad when it doesn't crit. And it's not like I have enough crit for it to always crit. But good God. Whenever that thing's got burden, nether precision, and it's got intuition, and then it procs twice because of Magi Spark, the difference between that critting and not critting feels fucking nuts. Refresh AM for Magi Spark window. What's up? You mean like, wait, so that was bugged at first, and then I swear they like fixed some aspect of it, but I noticed that my missiles are doing weird shit sometimes. So is that what you're... Refresh AM for... Hold on, let's look at this. Two seconds after first missile lands. Wait, so are you saying to do like more than one missile in a row and then like forego the nether precision, or what are you saying? Okay. Aether Attunement talent have bug? No, not Aether Attunement. We're talking about Magi Spark right now. So whenever they changed Magi Spark, they said in the notes that they made it so that missiles would have a 2-second window whenever you use it to continue getting the missiles. But the problem with what they did is they initially had it just like work the entire time touch was up. It seems to have been fixed now, but I was able to get like a 12 million Magi Spark, which was kind of funny. Single target. But I guess now it just stays in that 2-second window. It's not a buff on there though. So that's gotta be like a hidden buff or something. I think you'd have to look at the combat log or like your cast, because there's no like buff as far as I can tell. That's another hilariously unintuitive thing. My tempo just fell there. Yeah, I think I need more haste for this. This part does crack me up though, right here. Bonk. Wait, what's that? Yeah, so next to it. I mean, that's without any juice, right? The meteorite damage is like not terrible either, honestly. I reset it just so I could see just the blast brush. Yeah, I love unintuitive stuff, man. It's my favorite. Just fucking pile it on me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you going to talk about missiles and high voltage? Float 1 CC stack as long as you possibly can for burdens. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm already doing that. That's what I was talking about last night. Unless it's like early on. Yeah, so basically what I was doing, okay, but also, oh, you're gonna tell me more? Spinning as many as you can before burdens. Yeah, so like the logic I was using before was like, it depends. So like obviously at the end of Arcane Surge, I want to be completely cashed out because I want to farm 3 during Arcane Soul, right? And then if I have like 3, I'm obviously sending, like I never want to be sitting at 3, right? If I have 2 at the start, then I'll always send one right away. But if I have 2 at the end, I'll try to like slip one in there. But I'm always just trying to have one. I try to like avoid the situation where like I don't have one for burden basically, while also spending as many as I can leading up to it so I get Arcane Debilitation on the target. Like I want to like spend leading up to the 6. Because that 6-second window, like I think at like 4 or something is like usually nice so I can get AD up. But I'm also simultaneously trying to always save one. But sometimes I'll just like think to myself like, oh, I haven't got one in a while. Like maybe I'll just get one here. And I'll just send it anyways and see what happens. But I always try to end Arcane Surge with like 0 because Arcane Soul, I wish it lasted longer. It feels like it lasts just too short. It's like slightly too short. If only it lasted just like a little longer. Yeah, it's on sim. So like I'm pretty sure Porum, how it's gonna be is it's gonna depend on execute or not. Right? Because like there's like 2 different routes you can take and 2 different big conditions. Because it's like on one hand you have clear casting going into it. Or let's say you have Nether Precision going into it. The other hand, you don't. Right? And so like the first thing may be like Barrage to get the clear cast, Barrage. And now you're at 3 clear casts, right? Or you have Nether Precision already, and then you can just Barrage right away and then do the same thing, just starting from a different point. But if you have if you're outside the execute though, I think the Blast Barrage might be better, because you can basically do like a Missile Blast Barrage. With enough haste, that feels pretty good to do. I assume it also matters for burden too, because like, dude, there's so much to think about here. It's kind of crazy. You almost need like a weak aura that just like has 3 giant boxes on your screen, and like it just lights one of them up, right? So it's like blast. Well, blast would be in the middle because that's the most common one, right? So it's like a big blast box, like Hakili, but just with 3 buttons, just. Fucking Simon Says blast, or missiles, blast barrage, right? It's like one of the 3. It's always one of the 3. And like a fucking you know, like the little kid's toy where it's like a little circle and it spins, or like Twister, right? It's like Twister and it's spinning, and like you have blast, missiles, and barrage, and then it just moves from one to the other. The whole time. It just feels so weird. I do kind of like this opener though, where I'm like farming and getting the intuition proc here, like reacting really fast to it feels kind of pog. Oh, I couldn't react in time to that one because there's just no way. But now I'm gonna have it for here. Watch this. Boom! Big cannon hit. Ooh, another one! Getting the intuition proc with that is fucking nuts. Boom! Okay, that's where it really sucks though. If you react to the intuition and you're casting at 5, you're doomed. I guess you just follow with a barrage though to set it back on pace, but yeah. You found a better opener? Oh, really? Okay. Evo Surge. Oh, Surge Touch at the start. Okay. AM. Blast 6 times. AM Dump. Oh, really? That's so boring. Wait, is this fight time dependent? Are you doing the 5-minute sim? It's probably based on the shifting power time. That's probably why it's doing that that opener is the best one. You should set it 1 minute longer and see if it still is better. Because, like, it might just be shifting power getting you an extra set doing it that way if you do it right on the opener. Because I know that's how it was for Spellslinger too. Like, whenever I was testing it, you know the, like, touch of the Magi right after you basically put up, or sorry, your shifting power right after touch? That was, like, obviously good at, like, 5 minutes. But then I tried it with, like, different fight times and it was worse. Just because shifting power wasn't getting me the extra like it was at 5 minutes. Because it just, like, magically lined up for 5 minutes getting me 1 extra. Okay. Only shifting with burden. I suppose... Yeah, I also noticed I don't really, like, use Arcane Orb at all. That's another thing, too. But I guess that's more of a product of not using high voltage anymore. I basically never use Orb. There's just, like, no point to use Orb if you don't have high voltage, because Orb will only get you half the way there. Why go half the way there when you can just stay the whole way there the whole time? Okay, hold on. I'm going to try what you just talked about. Okay, so this is like a standard one. Evo, Surge, Touch, AM. Blast, 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 AM. Wait, hold on. AM... When you say AM dump, you mean like blast, or you use all of your clear casts? Is that what AM dump means? Dump them all. What the fuck? Oh, okay. Oh no, this is fucking cursed. Okay, thanks. I hate this. I fucking hate this. Thank you. Oh my god, this is so weird. Okay. It just feels so wimpy. Dude, that's so funny. It's like you're building up the entire time in your touch, and then you just have like a little... at the end, imagine like the sound of like a weak fart in the wind just at the very end. And that's what it feels like when you finally get to do your Blast Barrage. You're like, charging up the whole time, and then, yeah, without Lust, it was cutting it real close. I can see where the thought process is there with the debilitation, for sure. And also, in that moment, you have, like, so much extra... I feel like you have, like, more missile procs anyways. Without Lust, you can't really pre-pull Evo either if you fish Burden. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little awkward, right? Because then your Evo is going to be so offset from your surge that it's going to be... You're going to have to, like, wait on your next surge. What I was actually doing before, like, I looked at anything, like, one of my first things I did whenever I logged in was actually just doing a precast blast into Orb. And then farming it here before the evocate. That way it was, like, lined up. Obviously, this would depend on fight, right? But just, like, getting this ready. And then evocating. And then doing the surge into touch. And then the missiles, right? And then the blast barrage here. But obviously this would, like... Dude, I love when the intuition proc is there with the harmony and the burden. That feels really nice. But it just feels like it's too slow to start. Like, you're just... I feel like when I had more haste, it felt good. But now I have way less haste and it feels kind of bad. Because at first I was all mastery haste, because I was like, you know what? I need more haste, because more haste equals more mana, because burden of power, glorious incandescence. More haste getting here means more glorious incandescence procs. That was my first thought, and then I was like, wait a second. Wait a second. I need a crit. I saw one crit and I was like, yeah, I can't be having like 5% crit chance. That's not a thing. I don't know if the hardest part is not using barrage after blast or whatever. I think the hardest thing is having to use arcane blast constantly, because that's not really realistic in a lot of these fights that we're doing on the beta, like on the testing. It feels like if you're having to cast this many blasts, you're gonna run out of ice flows pretty quick, and then you're just gonna be fucking floor ugh, because you're gonna be casting a spell and not move out of a circle, and you're just gonna die to something. I do like this new one though. Evocation into Surge into Touch, dude. Although this is taking way too long. Look, by the time I get there, I'm like, my Surge is ending. See? But I like the idea for sure. With Lust, it's gonna feel pretty good. Maybe I lack haste. I do have another set of gear. Hold on. So I made this set. Let's wait for Lust to be back and then we'll try it again. But yeah, this is my other set for Haste Mastery. This one's all in on Haste Mastery. 17,000 Mastery, 15,000 Haste. Just all that shit. We'll try it with this one instead. See how it feels. Significantly more haste is this build. Also, Harmony like feels juicy as fuck if you do it this way too. It's kind of nice. I do like feeling like Harmony is doing something for me. It's a good feel to like think this talent's actually worth a shit. Usually just creeps around the background. It is kind of nice though, I guess, if you're doing less barrages, because like you're almost always at higher stacks of it. Yeah, I got a big brain. Dude, what makes me ooh is this talent right here, because it's like, I need that mana, dude. I'm fiending for the mana. I mean, Lay Drinker, you could probably go like this and like move a talent over here, but I don't know, man. I think it's like, yeah. Moving Aether Attunement over here versus over here, this doesn't seem like it would do much to really change anything. But Lay Drinker is just like slightly out of reach, because you gotta get 2 in the Prodigious Savant. You're not dropping Debilitation. Ain't no fucking way you're dropping this, right? So like, what else could you drop? Okay, you could drop Harmony. That sounds like a terrible idea. You drop Bombardment. Okay, maybe the fight doesn't go into Execute, right? So if a boss never goes below 35, I guess I would do this, but otherwise I would definitely just do Bombardment. But I think this is the cook right here. Just, you know, Aether Attunement. I don't know, I have to see Sims, but I'm disappointed by this. I feel like this talent just isn't doing anything really. And Lay Drinker seems okay. Like, it does like decent damage, but I don't know, man. These are all kind of like buns, to be honest. If there's like any amount of AoE, I'd probably just do this too. Like, I don't think I would even go to in the Savant. Dude, fuck it, dude. AoE, maybe we're back, dude. Copium. Okay, we got everything up? Alright, let's do it. Oh! Right before the barrage ended. Or the touch ended. It's because I made a little mistake at the start by moving. Also, I was capped at 3 for a little bit there. I don't think I would do that. Just trying to fit it all in. Well, that's also with me lusting. You can't just look at one opener and be like, that one's better, right? You gotta remember there's like a lot of things that go into this. There's DPS variance as well. It's probably better for Simda, I trust that. But you can't just look at it one pull on the dummy and say it's better, right? Because the sim is going to use like 10,000 pulls. And that was just one, right? So dummy testing is only like for the feel. You can like divine some things, but it's always better to just look at the sims for that sort of thing. For what's better. Right? Because maybe you just like low rolled all your crit, that pull. Or maybe you high rolled them, right? Did my, Also, it's only 17 seconds of combat too, so you're not going to get much out of this. It's like super high variance in that period. I had a 42% crit chance on my blast. And my crit chance is 18. There it is. Damn, this barrage didn't crit though. Tragic. I'll try without lust this time. Okay, so surge here into touch, to missiles. More blasting. Missiles, into blast barrage. Oh, barely can't fit it in there, but that was a big fucking barrage. Goddamn. Actually, it's not as big as I thought. If it was an execute, that would have been a big barrage. That would have been a 8.5 milli. If it was an execute. Well, the thing about haste is it's going to feel good on the opener because you have infinite mana, right? But as soon as you're past that point, you're going to be like, damn, my mana is fucking cooked. I'm running out of mana. I'm out of mana. So like haste will feel real good until you reach that point where you're out of mana. And who knows, maybe you just get lucky with TA procs and it's like, you know, you never run out of mana because you're just goated with the procs, but I feel like it's probably not good to have this much haste. It's probably too much. We'll have to see what the sims say, but I feel like a nice equal balance here is better for the overall playstyle if you're just like going for a long time. Look, you know why we're all here. Forget the fun and functionality of the spec. Is the damn thing intuitive or not? No, it's not. If not, can you just delete and may God have mercy on your soul? Yes, please. Yo, what's up, EDM? How's it going? What do you do when you run out of buttons? Cry. You have to, you know, like in the Da Vinci Code, the self-flagellation, that's what you have to do if you run out of mana. You have to flagellate yourself. I mean, if you have no mana, you just press barrage, right? But things have already gone seriously fucked to that point. Like it, you know, it's lost at that point. Can't wait to cast Frostbolt again. No one wants to press Frostbolt ever. That's a lie. Yeah, I know. That's why I said it was a lie. So we don't do distinct burn conserve phase? No, you are always in conserve phase / burn phase. You're always above the enlightenment. You are enlightened. One weird trick. Just get a fuckload of mastery. It's like the only way to like keep your mana up. Ozmain, thank you for the Twitch Prime. By the way, the only reason why the mastery thing like worked as just like damage and not mana was because we had the ability to press barrage before. And since Blizzard took that from us, now we are like burdened by having to only barrage with Burden of Power, like queued from an Arcane Blast, which means that the rotation cannot stay afloat unless you have a certain amount of mastery. So it's not so much that mastery is like your best stat, it's so much it's more so that like the rotation just falls apart without mastery. Because you're gonna go It's like cheat codes for making it good, right? They couldn't tune mastery to be good on its own, so what they did is they forced us into a version of the spec where you run out of gas if you don't have it. So it's like, okay, is mastery a good stat? Well, kind of not really, but also you'll run out of gas if you don't have it. So it's more like a required stat than a good stat, right? We're not taking it because it's giving us so much more damage on its own. No, there's like a secondary reason. Secondary reason is that the whole thing just fucking bricks if you don't have it. Because then you'd have to do like a lot of barrages to keep your mana up, and that's just gonna fuck your damage so bad because you're not gonna be at 4 charges. So like, yeah, you just need infinity mastery to keep yourself afloat. And the playstyle, if you have like less mastery, is gonna be so bad. Like it's already bad, but like it's gonna be so bad if you don't have it. Is Arcane feeling easy or hard for a new player? Well, a new player is gonna struggle to fit cast in when you have to like stand still and cast, so it's gonna be harder for a new player because you're spending a lot more time doing hard casting as opposed to instant cast and cast while moving. So I think it's strictly harder in terms of execution. It's probably also more complicated because there's not a rhythm to it. It's more like chaos. And it has the same level of unintuitiveness as before, if not more. I think if you were to look at every metric that you could look at for difficulty, so that'd be like execution, complexity, and how punished you are for making a mistake. So like how punishing the spec is. I think in pretty much every area, the spec is worse off. And it's less fun, which is the most important metric. But I think that's the bottom line. Like, forget about everything else. The spec is less fun. By like a lot. And fun is subjective, but I think this actually borders on objectively being less fun. Because, you know, there's certain things that like can end up being fun. And everyone's got a different flavor of what's fun to them. But I think this spec is objectively less fun. And that's crazy because fun is not something that you can even be objective about, but it is somehow, like, and if you play it, you'll actually agree, I think. The spec is it's so much worse that it has somehow turned a subjective thing into an objective thing. That's how bad it's affected the rotation. Yeah, I mean, in AoE, things are going to be mostly the same, because, like, AoE versus single target, in AoE, you're not really queuing the barrage except for on the touch, or at least that's what you were doing before. So, like, in AoE, things are mostly untouched. The thing that's going to really bite you in the ass, though, in AoE, is once you run into a boss. Because, remember, every Mythic plus key now is tyrannical and fortified. Unless you're doing, like, a baby key. So if you're going in there with your full AoE build and you're like, haha, my raid will take care of the boss for me, or like my party will kill the boss for me, I'm just here to AoE. Like you're gonna get fucking roasted. Your ass is in for a rude awakening. So like you can't just go in there with the build that's like only AoE. You're just gonna get fucking destroyed by the bosses. Like you have to have single target and AoE, or else your ass is getting slapped. So yeah, I mean, you could do the same thing as you did before, but it's probably not going to have good results. It's actually incredibly diabolical on Blizzard's end. They nerfed the fun playstyle into oblivion, and they make us embrace our shitty mastery stat by requiring it to fuel a shit build. Yeah, and you forgot the worst part. And they also made it do more damage now. Sunfury hurts or helps? Well, I don't want to play Spellslinger version of this. I just don't. I don't even know if I could stomach non-Sunfury. Because, like, at least with Sunfury, there's burden. But if you look at Spellslinger, there's no burden. So now you're truly lost. Because now you're basically... There's like, no flavor at all to it. Right? Because there's nothing that you're leading up to. So like why you're not barraging at all anymore, I guess, unless you get intuition proc, right? As Spellslinger, I don't think you would really barrage unless you like needed mana or need to maintain tempo or got intuition. But like if you barrage, then you're kind of fucked because you have no charges. So that's like, that sounds really, really bad. I don't even want to look at Spellslinger Arcane. Honestly, I don't want to look at it because if I look at it, I'm just going to get sad. So I'm just going to like... Oh yeah, maybe you just go... Yeah, I mean, I guess you could just not go tempo. But, I mean, you probably still go tempo. I mean, like, what are you going to pick up instead? Right? Like, if we like, clear this out, like, what else are you going to pick up over here? Right? Like, so these talents, obviously, you're picking up. You're obviously picking up Surge. You need a way to get to Familiar, so you can either go double orb or you can go tempo. One of these is not like the other, right? I mean, even if you can't keep up the buff, it's still like probably astronomically better still to go tempo. Is the unfortunate thing. I think you just have to make it work. I don't know. Again, I'm getting dangerously close to thinking about Spellslinger, so y'all gotta stop that. I don't want to think about it. Out of sight, out of mind. Really? I'm not gonna get a fucking missile here? That's crazy. Until the very end. That's wild. Oh, I didn't surge there. I got a proc. God damn it. I got baited by that. I need to set this up so I don't get baited by the fucking procs. Not used to that yet. Oh, put it in. Tempo's about to fall, and we keep it up. Right? Boom! Put it in at the end. Feels good. Barely fell off. If we would have had a good intuition proc earlier, that wouldn't have happened. Just got fucked by that. Damage is pretty good though. Sadly, that's all that's good. But I think I have it down. For the most part. That's you. Oh, as soon as I said that, I made like a critical error. That's fucking hilarious. That's like absolute comedy right there. Literally, as soon as the words left my mouth, I made the cardinal sin of the spec. The cardinal sin of Sun Fury Arcane, which is being at 5 stacks and pressing blast into barrage. Can't do that. That's banned. But that was a pretty nice little 5-minute if you just, you know, ignore the very end of it. So yeah, this is what the breakdown looks like. Exclamation point UI for that. Yeah, so now I'm able to sustain like 1.3 million on the target dummy over 5 minutes. If the target dummy is like, regardless of if the target dummy is like an execute or not. So that means it's like pretty fucking good in terms of damage, but again, where's the fun? Also, wow, dematerialize is fucking bad. That's crazy. Yeah, I think Frost is probably going to be best for a lot of players until they sort this shit out. This town's fucking ass. .8%. There's got to be something better. It's above the capstone line though, so we'd have to pick something up here. I mean, honestly, if there's any AoE, this one would definitely be the better choice. And then you could have both of these. Both bobble and cleave. Or maybe POM. I think I'll take cleave. What needs to happen to make Arcane fun again? It's very simple. They just undo the boneheaded decision they just made. It may just be only fixed on beta, yeah. Read my comment, please. You know what? Just because you said it in all caps, no, I won't. If they don't revert AP change, what change would we want to go back into Braji more? Yeah, so if they don't revert it, they would need to do something that follows up from the NP that's only used on Barrage. But that's also just reinventing exactly what they had, but with more steps. After reverting the NP change, how would you tune Arcane so it's numerically more reasonable but doesn't hurt the playstyle? I would simply, if I was in charge, I would simply revert it and then nerf like any of the things that are broken. Yeah, I mean, fuck, you could look so many different places, right? You could just nerf everything across the board if you need to take it down a notch. You could nerf splinters more. You could nerf I mean, there's a lot of different avenues you could take to nerf it down. You could nerf charges a little bit on blast. That would probably be a good one. You could okay, actually here's what you do. You increase the baseline damage of blast, but you reduce the arcane charges of blast. That would be a good thing to attack, because then you wouldn't be like pushing it further into barrage spam while also decreasing how much damage it does with one of its main abilities. That's if you're keeping this playstyle. If you okay, but hold on. If you nerf AB too much, though, don't make that mistake, yeah? Because if you nerf AB too much, then you're in a weird situation where it's like building is banned, and then you only use your builder at max stacks, and then it's like, okay, well, what's the point of a builder if you don't use it to build? You only use it to spend, and then you're just not spending. See, the whole fucking equation, it's all very fragile, right? That's what people don't... I feel like that's what the people on the forums who are like arguing for the nether position change, I feel like that's what they don't get. Is like, it's all such a gentle balance that like one small thing can throw everything out of whack because of how it's like duct taped together right now. For real, you're sad? Okay, hold on. I'll read your comment now. Do you only stack 3 spheres out of combat? Yeah. Unless you leave combat with 5. Hold on, I'm going back to your comment. So I've noticed that when you take the talent that lets you stack to 5 spheres, you don't passively gain 5. Yeah. That's right. Does this mean we'll be like Shadow Priest and Mythic Plus where we have to stack our spheres before dungeon starts? I mean, they'll probably just make it so your spheres reset. Right? You'll probably just reset your spheres whenever you like enter raid combat or something. But it's not that big of a deal. Like having extra spheres doesn't even do shit. Like sure you get like slightly more damage out of it, but I mean like the reason I'm going to sphere talent, by the way, is because this talent, I don't think it's actually working right now. I think they broke the Phoenix. I noticed that the Phoenix is like doing weird shit. Like it's flame striking single target now, which it used to not do. It doesn't seem to be casting enough exceptional spells. And this talent, I think, doesn't work at all right now. But I don't know. It's like hard to tell. The Phoenix is so like... I mean, honestly, the Phoenix is kind of useless. So it's like hard to tell if it's like doing something or not. But it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. It's kind of the problem. You actually do more damage after nerf. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do. Oh, I think Porum said that too. But that's why I'm feeling. I'm trying as if you don't surge at the start. It's really bad whenever you just get no intuition procs. That feels really bad. Is the NP percent increase talent a late drinker talent row possible build now with the change? Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about this talent right here. If you're seeing this talent and you're thinking to yourself, wow, that sounds really cool. I want to play this talent. Let me just stop you right there. You don't want to play this talent. All right, you think you do, but you don't. This talent sucks. It is really annoying. If you barrage with this talent and it procs, there is a pretty good chance, if there's any other targets, that you basically get like 25% of the value out of it that you would normally get. Because what happens with this talent is if you ever do a barrage with this, it's not smart enough to know that you want it on your main target. So what it will do instead is just whichever event takes place first will proc it. So like, let's say I barrage and one of the mobs is like running at me and then my target's like standing still in the tank. If the extra cleave hits it, so it's like doing, you know, only 40% of the damage, it's 60% reduced. If that happens, not only is the target not arcane debilitated, they also are getting, you know, 60% reduced because it's an arcane cleave. It's going to consume that one instead of the one I want it to consume on the main target. So the echo's not going to be on the group. It's going to be on the random mob out of nowhere, and it's only getting like 25% of the value it should be. And it doesn't work on all the targets. It only works on the first one it hits. So, like, this talent is just fucking shit to play. Like, I think in terms of damage, like, it could be good if you had, like, a fight where there's, like, no execute phase. So, like, you can't get any value out of bombardment. I think you would go this talent, yeah. You may also just go this talent instead. But, practically speaking, this talent's really annoying to play with. And I just don't like it. I'm against it. Why would they implement it like that? Spaghetti, man. They take up my spaghetti. Yeah, I mean, there's no rational reason why it would work that way, right? That's just, it's just coded like very simply. It just says, look at the first entry of Arcane Barrage in the log. Apply the damage buff to that one. Okay? It's not thinking like, oh, it's your cast. No, no, no. It's just like, what is the first instance of Arcane Barrage damage? Multiply that damage regardless of any other situation. Basically, the way they programmed it was the most simple way to program it. But it's also really dumb. And it makes it not fun to play and unintuitive and bad and just annoying. So just, yeah. Talent sucks. It's just not been looked into enough, maybe? Okay. I mean, maybe. But I feel like it's something that they won't actually address. Here, let's give them some feedback. This proc only looks at the first instance of Arcane Barrage damage. Let's start by saying with Barrage. With Barrage, this proc only looks at the first instance of Arcane Barrage damage, not the full cast. This means that if you hit a target with a Arcane Cleave Barrage before your primary target, then most of the value is lost. There. I think that's a good way to summarize it. Yo, Snap, thank you for the sub. Appreciate you. Zormos would say this isn't a bug. Yeah. It's like, it's so bad when it hits another target because, like, no arcane debilitation. Only getting 40% of damage with Arcane Cleave. Forget about, you know, your Touch of the Magi and anything else like that, right? And especially since, like, the main target you're hitting might be a bigger character model than, like, the little shitter mobs around it. You have no control over which one you hit first. It's just gonna... It's just like the first combat log entry for Arcane Barrage is the one that's gonna get the buff. Which is more than likely, if there's more than one target, more than likely not the target you want it on. Porum, do you have any thoughts on this one? So I was comparing Laysite and Aether Attunement. I feel like these are so close that it actually probably doesn't matter. Maybe it just depends on the stats, but I feel like this one's better overall. The only case I've been really thinking about Laysite for is like if there's no execute, because then I could just drop Bombardment, but I don't know what the Sims are saying for talents, but this is where I'm at. Honestly, not even sold on Prodigious Savant either, but I feel like I got so much mastery, I might as well pick it. It's also because the bolts travel at the same speed, yeah. The primary one, if it hit faster, it would Probably do good. Yeah, I actually tested out this talent quite a bit, and then once I tested it, I was like, yeah, I actually fucking hate this talent. Ether Attunement has a bug? What bug? How do the Sims feel about time loop? I mean, doing the tech that he's doing, it may actually be worth it. But, I mean, it's kind of a bad talent. I don't know, just, you know, pretend like these talents aren't here. Time loop and concentration, just like pretend those aren't here. Right? And then high voltage, pretend like this doesn't exist in single target. Or barrage, pretend like this doesn't exist in single target. And don't really look at late drinker. So really what you've got is like one choice here. Oh, what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, cleave test. Yeah. Dude, why am I not hitting the one to the right? That's annoying. My orb doesn't even hit it either. You see that? So annoying. Why can't I hit this one? It's like, this is far enough. Or, yeah, this is fine. But this is too far. Okay, no, we gotta go somewhere else. This ain't gonna work. Yeah, Tuberellus. Never fails us. Is Mage still S tier? A Mythic Plus. That's more about Aug than Mage, by the way. Is it still S tier? I think if you're running Aug, it probably is, yeah. I mean, the amount of stops it has is crazy. It may not be S tier damage, but because it's giving the Aug more int and because it's got infinite stops and because of its kit, it's probably still S tier. It's more so about the int you're giving the healer and the int you're giving the Aug and just like the int buff in general and the amount of stops than it is your damage. Believe it or not, int actually affects Aug by 5%. So yeah, it does affect them a lot. Same amount it affects everyone who uses int. But in the case of Aug, they're giving you back 5% of that. So I mean, yeah, int buff's good. As long as you got int users in the group, it's great. The stops is the big thing, because with this talent right here, you have a ton of stops, right? Because you can do stop, stop, shifting power, stop, stop, and then you can spin CC, stop, stop again. You're just like a stop machine. And we don't even go like all of our shit, you know? We've got Blast Wave, we've got Supernova we can go. You can also go Ring of Frost as well. You've got Invis, which is great for a lot of dungeons where a mob will just fucking beam your ass and just blast you. You can just G-Invis it off. You can remove snares with Energized Barriers. Alter Time is really strong. Mass Barrier is insanely strong. Barrier on its own is already strong. Arcane, though, has an even better barrier because reduce time on your debuffs in basically like a magic wall, right? Which is insane. And it brings Lust, and it brings Int, and it's just, yeah, it's not even about the damage, you know? Mage just, like, brings a bunch of shit. But mainly brings AI. And stops. Oh, my stupid familiar's gone. Okay, hold on. I want to be right here. Okay. Oh, I should have orb before that. Just want to look at one target. Hold on, how do I do that? I think if I mark it... Maybe if I mark it skull, then... Hold on, let me check something. So if I hit everything now... Does it show me... Oh, wait, there's one. It's like... Damage on marked targets. Yeah, this is what I want. Let's put this on damage done. Because I just want to see the damage I do to skull. Is this script working? Current segment. Doesn't seem to be working, actually. Wait, maybe it's working now? Oh, it's like delayed. See that? Yeah, it's working now. Okay. So I just want to see just the damage on the skull target. So now I'm seeing like random other people. Like, I don't care about the boomkin. But I guess this is a way to filter out the other shit. Oh, fuck. I needed a clear cast first, that's right. Yeah, damage on marked targets works. This is the way to do it. So let's compare cleaving it. I don't think this will be worth, but we're just gonna try anyways. Oh, I would definitely need Orb Brush for this, actually. Never mind. Not gonna do that. I don't want to go Orb Brush. We'll just wait for CDs again. We'll just do it natty. Was buff or charge after AB? The buff is Verdant Power. Is this the one you're talking about? People ask for a nerf and now complain. Be careful what you ask for. Well, actually, they gave us a buff. Yeah, it wasn't a nerf. It was a buff, but it was a nerf to the fun, and that's what actually matters. Why is it worth to AM during Arcane Soul when you miss like 2 Arcane Barrage casts? Because then you get another precision on your next 2 barrages. And every barrage you do gives you clear cast. So if you're already at 3, then the value of getting a clear cast is like less. You want to exit your soul with 3, I'm pretty sure, but it's not implemented in Sims, so like it's hard to say till we see an actual sim for it. But we basically want to exit our Arcane Soul with 3 clear casts. At least that's my feeling right now on it. Is I want to like play normally during it, but I want to also exit with 3 if I can. Why do you think they nerfed the playstyle instead of just the numbers? Maybe they just don't know. Oh, I have a... Huh? I used intuition proc there. Why didn't that give me 4 charges? It's weird. Is intuition working with that too? Hold on. Okay, whatever. Let's go again. Oh, you know what? It's fucking Arcane Harmony. Oh my god. I just realized what's happening. It's my Arcane Harmony that's throwing me off. I need to change that. I haven't noticed it because I wasn't running AoE before, but if I max out my Arcane Harmony, it's giving me the same indicator as whenever I have my 4-piece, and it's throwing me off. Where the fuck is Arcane Harmony? It's under Core... Barrage. It's gotta be one of these. It's trigger 2 stacks. So we're looking for trigger 2 stacks. Trigger 2 stacks equals 20, then glow 1. Uncheck. Just delete that. Okay. You get some mana back here. Okay, that's to be sufficient. Getting our mana back. We fucked up our charges, but that's okay. Just gonna bring it back to 6 and then get back on track. should have sent that clear cast. I mean, yeah. You wouldn't actually play AoE this way, by the way. I'm just trying to test something here. Like if I was just like single targeting one of the targets. Like in AoE, you'd want to like have or barrage probably and be barraging a lot more, but and like using Arcane Explosion. But I'm not trying to test that shit. We already did that for Spellslinger. We already been down that path. Clear casting? I get clear casting automatically from just like casting spells. How do you use barrage without spending charges? It's this one right here. Well, there's two ways. One is this, which you may not even see this buff because I always queue it from burden, so it automatically gets it. So whenever you see this buff right here and I queue a blast into barrage, I get it for free. And then the other way is through my tier bonus, which is right here. Whenever you see a little square around barrage, that means that I have my 4-piece buff. Yeah, those are the ways. Big barrage right here. Boom! Love when the intuition procs like that. Feels good. Like right here, see it? And then it doesn't spend it because I'm queuing the burden of power into the barrage from Arcane Blast. So that's going into that, both together. How does burden of power work? So it works the same way Nether Precision worked, by the way. So if you queue a blast into barrage, then you end up getting burden of power on both casts. And the barrage automatically has Glorious Incandescence built into it, so you don't drop your charges. So we're still using the queuing. It's just on this instead. Did I put a dead marker on the dummy? Yeah, I marked it myself. Almost as though it's not a bug. Yeah, almost as if like every spell works this way naturally. Don't tell Blizzard though. I always play fire. I saw your YouTube guide on Arcane. Well, the guide is like out of date now. You need to watch my latest video. I don't have a video on how to play Arcane yet, but just know this playstyle is fucking... This is like duct tape and sticks and mud putting this thing together. We're gonna wait on Lust. I'm gonna go fucking Super Saiyan here. Ah, fuck. I didn't mean to actually send that. It's so hard to react if you get a clear cast at 5 in time. I feel like you almost have to be like pressing barrage in anticipation of it to actually get it. I'm gonna send the barrage here just to get some mana back. Then we'll shifting power for the orb. Everything else. I guess I'll Arcane Explosion back up. You really don't want to Arcane Explosion as the spec, I don't think. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, we're queued up. We need to get back on evens. We're gonna go here, blasting one more, yeah. And then right here we'll barrage. Barrage again. Orb. Missiles. Okay, now we gotta get back to evens. Alright, we're back. Damn, no missile. That sucks. Maybe I should have saved. We have a missile for this one though. Boom. Oh, I'll send the orb again. Fuck it. Why not? I'll save this clear cast for here. Damn, we don't have one. I'm lucky. Could have shifting powered earlier. Oh, you actually don't want to ever do what I just did. You never want to do the precision right there. I guess right here though, like I could pop my coolies and like get us back on track. I'll just use another here and then I'll slam this right here. Boom. Ah, I got it. Let's go. Gamble paid off. I'm just gonna blast here and then do another, and then yeah, we could do this. Touch of the Magi. I got one there. God damn it! I wasn't gambling for that one. I should have gambled. It's so awkward, man. I hate this, man. Ugh, I have to hold this intuition now. That's like a really weird time for it. Yeah, I don't like this at all. I don't like this, man. I don't like it. I don't like it. Revert! Please! Please revert! I don't want to do this anymore. I can't fucking take it, dude. I can't. It's so annoying. The fucking right here, if you're in this situation right here, this is okay, this is where it's cursed as fuck, right? So like let's say I'm right here and I have another precision and I want to blast into barrage. Watch what happens if I do this. It breaks my entire thing. Right? Like if you ever cue a barrage from a blast at 5 charges, it bricks the entire fucking thing. That is like, there is no mistake you can make that's bigger than that. It just ruins everything. At 5, if you do a blast in the barrage, you are actually so cooked. You're done. Fucking wrap it up. That is not allowed. Can't be doing that. We farm up. We launch everything. We get the nether precision, and we blast barrage. Boom! And we blast barrage. Boom! Probably capped on my missiles just now. Boom! Boom! It's kind of weird just doing your single target rotation AoE. I don't think it's worth it if I was other talents, but I feel like with Sun Fury, with the talent build I have, I think if I have Burden, I always want to blast. I prefer being at 5 missiles, blast, barrage. Yeah, so like if you're at 5, it's just you're fucking cursed, right? So like I think the value here, Flex, is Form was saying that always having the nether precision for the blast and the barrage, they're both, by the way, getting this because you're queuing it, just like you did with nether precision, is worth. So like you always want a missile at 6, which is also just brilliant power. But in execute, it's like insane value to missile at 6, because then you're blast barraging into that and you have like double damage on it because of arcane bombardment. So but this just, yeah, just feels bad. Feels bad, man. It's good. It does crazy fucking damage. There's no doubt. This is overtuned as fuck, but it just feels bad. Suffering from bad playstyle while also being successful. Spirit Bolt damage reduction. Triple Bite has a 6-year range. Used to be melee range, so you can't kite it. They made the poison range smaller. Good. Lots of tank nerfs, or like tank buffs. These are like all tank buffs. Wait, this was only 20 yards? You could range that? That's funny. Damage buff reduced to 25% was 75%, but the damage of the AoE increased by 50%. Okay. So it's like still really bad to kill one early, but at least it doesn't just like one-shot the tank. You could range this before? That's funny. Wait, I thought they already did this change. This one's good. This debuff was doing way too much damage. Yeah, it used to be you could range the knock, but now they made so you can't range the knock, but also it doesn't deal damage anymore. So now it just annoys you. Where is the nether precision revert post? Yo, fucking get 'em, Fitz, man. Fucking roast their asses. Is that access issues in Dawnbreaker? I mean, which one? There's so many. No, I don't think so. The MP change made me post on the forums for the first time ever. Let's go, Mike Fleas. What'd you post? I'm cheating. To be fair, the game was the one that cheated first. Giving me an intuition proc right there. That's just fucking rude. Dude, again? I got another intuition proc right there? Oh my lord. Fuck you, man. Quit giving me intuition procs at 5. You're just tempting me. Quit tempting me. 2 in a row, bro. What the fuck? That's crazy. Don't tempt me, Frodo. I'm torn between Dev and Arcane. If you've got Burden without AM, what you do is you just send Bless into Barrage. What does Intuition do? It makes you want to press Barrage because it makes it so that Barrage is dealing more damage and it instantly returns 4 charges. And I've trained myself over like my hundreds of hours of beta to press Barrage as soon as I hear that sound, the punch sound of it proccing. And unfortunately, that's actually really bad. See, like right there, I didn't have another precision, so I had to just send it. Here, I'm going to send the Blast in the Barrage because I intuitioned, and now I'm at 6 because it's 2 increment, right? I'm going to end with 2 Barrage, so I have Clear Cast times 3. And now I'm in that awkward situation, so I have to Blast Barrage. Now we have Intuition, so we're Blast Barraging. Now we're going to do 2 Blasts here. Then we're going to Missiles, and then we're going to do Blast Barrage right here. And we're going to Missiles, and then we're going to do Blast Blast. Right, and we're just going to keep blasting right here, and we have no proc, so we just send it. Right here, we'll missile. And right here, I'm going to apply touch, and now I can blast barrage, and that brings us to burden, and I don't have AM because unlucky, and then I AM here because I have it, so another precision. I'm going to get to 4, send another 2. Don't have it again, unlucky. So sometimes it's worth it to hold the AMs, because like that situation can happen right there, but now we're lucky, so now we can missile into blast barrage right here. But mana is ran out, so clearly I've made mistakes. But if I was using shifting power, mana wouldn't have been running out because it would have been evocation time. I just wasn't, it's hard to think about these things while you're talking through it. Don't get baited into barraging at a, if you're queuing, okay, so if you're currently casting Arcane Blast, you're in this situation right here, right? So let's set up. So let's say I'm at this situation right here, right? If I do a blast into barrage right here, it's very bad. See that? So what should be happening there is I should be able to, like normally if I'm at 6, I would be able to queue the blast into barrage. But the problem is if you set it up like this, it's really, really bad. Here, I'll do it again in a different way. So if I get to, I'm gonna actually farm up my proc, so just give me a sec. Okay, so let's say I already have this buff, yeah? And then now I have Glorious Incandescence, right? I'm gonna farm with another one just for example sake. Right, so I'm like right here, so I have both buffs up. If I do a Blast in the Brush right here, now if you did from the previous set, it works, right? But if you do it natty, so like right here, Blast into Barrage, this is what normally happens. You get both buffs, and then if I do a Blast into Barrage here, unless I delay it, like in that case I delayed it, so it was fine, but like if you do it back to back, it's going to give you 0 charges back. Basically what happens is the activate like re-upping like will make you skip getting the credit for it, so you won't get the 4 charges. It's hard to like demonstrate unless you're just wailing on the target dummy, but here, I can do it again. Wait. No. Yeah, it's hard to describe. Here, hold on. I have it in a fucking bod. It's easier just to show it. Okay, so right here. Okay, so here's the situation, right? So I'm at 3 on my Spellfire Spheres, right? I'm at 5 on my Spellfire Spheres. Okay, this is the exact situation. So 5 on the spheres. If I blast, so I'm getting another position, right? I'm gonna blast into Barrage here. Watch this. Blast into Barrage right here. See, I proc both of them, and I got nothing back. If you look, see? So since I'm proccing it, this is where you can make the mistake. Blasting the Barrage right here. You get both at the same time and nothing back, right? So I use my Orb there, but watch, it's gonna happen again. Okay, so now I have... Wait, where is it? I did it a couple times in this one because I was trying to demonstrate this bug. Or maybe it's intended behavior, it's hard to say. But basically, I think what's happening is you're, like if you have both and you're like already casting and you just got the buffs and you use it, it refreshes the buff, but briefly the buff goes away while you're barraging. So you don't get credit for it because right when it checks to see if it has the buff, it goes away because it refreshes. And then it comes back and then you end up without the buff and then you're fucked. So yeah, you can only blast at 5. I think that's the best way to like summarize it. But if you're just like wailing at the target dummy and you wonder why that happens, that's why. Just lacking just slightly, just like a slight amount of haste where I'm not able to get it in there without my tempo staying up. Quite unfortunate, really. Oh, this is perfect. Fluorescent Incandescence into Intuition into Blast Barrage. Boom. Love to see that shit. Yeah, it's not that like Mastery is a great stat. It's that Mastery is required or else the rotation falls apart. So I haven't really, I would have to see Sims to know what stats are best, but I've been playing around with like high haste, high mastery, and now I'm like high mastery and then like equal haste and crit. And it seems to be the cook. Although there are like small moments where my tempo may drop because I don't have like enough haste. I'm like slightly lacking the haste, but overall it feels good. And like 0 verse. Yeah, some of it's from keys. I mean, you get loot from keys for sure. Keys drop 613. And then you craft the rest of the gear. If there's no further changes, how Mage plays, what spec do you think you'll play? I mean, if it stays exactly the way it is with the tuning right now, I think you would play Arcane. You would just need to like have a very frank conversation with your raid leader and be like, hey, by the way, I'm fucking unable to do anything, by the way. So like, if you need me to do stuff, then tell me and I'll go Frost. But if you need me to do nothing, then I can just play Arcane and Blast. But like, if I have to move at all, I'm probably gonna just go Frost. But that's assuming the tuning stays the same, which is a big assumption. Yeah, 5 million health. It's not really that much. In keys, you can like get hit by a fucking random mob cast in a 12 for like 5 million. In terms of fun over numbers? Oh, yeah, I mean, anything is more fun than this shit. If you're looking for fun, then don't look at Arcane until they revert an MP change. There's a couple different openers you can do. Not sure what's going to be best, and it probably depends on lust and your stats, but the general idea is you want to have... So, okay, 2 different methods. You can either go straight into cooldowns without prepping your burden, or you can prep burden. So prepping burden's easy. You just like blast in the orb and then prep burden and then go into CDs. Alternatively, you could just go into CDs straight away, but it does require a lot of haste and like lust and shit like that too. So that one's like a little bit taller of an ask. But like if I were to do like the lust opener, I would like do something like this. Pre-combat, I would evocation. And then I'm going to immediately Arcane Surge, Touch of the Magi without Barrage. So it's like this. To touch into missiles. And then you're just blasting till 6 here. And then you're missling twice, or however many you have, and then Blast Barrage right there. See that 8 milli? And then you're just trying to get to 6 and you're trying to spend here. And really it's just trying to line up the burden with the nether precision, like so. Right here we're good, because we have intuition and everything. Boom! Right. And then you would obviously use shifting power earlier, but I didn't have it, so. But here I'm going to touch into Blast Barrage. I'm running out of mana here, so this is getting kind of bad. Then you get like a IT proc or something. Yeah, I didn't get a proc. But yeah, shifting power, if it was sooner, I wouldn't have ran out of mana, but I wasn't thinking ahead. You don't barrage touch, no. Barrage touch would only make sense if you had nether precision and you had 4 charges, and you don't have 4 charges. You're using touch to get your 4 charges. So why would you do a 0 charge barrage into a touch when it's only going to do like 30 damage? It's going to do like fucking 2-digit damage, and it's taking extra global, and it's in your cooldowns. That doesn't make any sense. The barrage and the touch thing only makes sense if the barrage is going to do damage in the first place, and it's not if you do it that way. No. Listen, there has not been time to make a video. We've been sussing this through in this stream. You're asking a little bit much for me to already have a video out. Also, they're just gonna revert this shit, so I'm not gonna make a video. That's my hopium. I'm kind of low on the mana right now. Oh, kept it up. Holy fuck, that was close. Millie again. Boom. Barrage. Barrage. Now we're at 3. Nice. Now we can go straight into another burden. Boom. And now we can spin the burden. Boom. Now we can shifting power. Now we can do a missiles here. Do a touch. No missiles, and tempo fell. This happens. These things happens. Blue post? Blue post? Wait. Blue post? Holy fuck, chat just blew up. Where is it? Hello, mages. Okay, hold on. Hello, Arcane Mages. We've been closely watching Arcane, in particular discussion around the most recent change to fix the ability to double dip last charge in their precision. While opinions on this change have not been unanimous, it's true that the existence of the bug does deepen the rotational gameplay of Arcane. Given the current state of Arcane, our vision for the spec and the war within, we're opting to revert the bug fix for now and allow players to continue double dipping on the last stack in their precision. Yes! See, that's why I was like, I'm not making a fucking video. They're gonna revert this shit. I fucking willed it. We're so back. We are so fucking back, dude. Let's go. All right. You know what? There it is. We're fucking back, baby. All right. Ending the stream right now. We're going to make a new video. All right. I'm calling it for today. I got to go make a YouTube video real quick. All right. Love you all. Thank you so much. Hope you are as happy as I am with this change. This is fantastic news. All right. We'll see y'all later. GN. I'm not shirtless, dude. I'm wearing the shirt. You're crazy. All right. GN.